I'll be, again, Paul Warren, App Engine Solution Specialist. With me today is Omar Martinez. He's the App Engine Solution Consultant. And then we have Don Casson. And Don is the VP of Global Offerings and Innovation Lead at our partner, Thirdera. Thirdera is a great App Engine partner. They're more than just an App Engine partner. They do a lot of cool stuff. You'll learn about that a little bit later. But Don and Michael and Tim and team, and certainly Anna, have done a great job for ServiceNow and helping sell solutions and deliver solutions of high value to customers. You're going to hear about Novartis today. So I'm just going to kick it right into it. So here's the agenda. I'll kick it off and kind of do a creator workflows. You'll hear us say creator workflows or App Engine. Those are almost synonymous, just for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to turn it over to Omar Martinez and let him see a live demo. He'll actually show you a live demo of these features of our solution. And then we're going to hand it over to Don and let him talk about Novartis. I mean, obviously Novartis is a huge pharma company. He'll give you more background on that. And then we'll wrap it up with kind of a call to action. Anybody on the attendee list is welcome to a hands-on workshop, and we'll talk more about that at the end of the day. So I'm just going to go right into it. So we talked about myself and Omar, but more importantly, I think Don is a world-class speaker. He's written blogs, and it'd be interesting just to connect with him on LinkedIn and see all the really cool stuff that he does. So we're excited to hear about Novartis later. I'm just going to talk about overall the situation of what's happening in the low-code marketplace and with ServiceNow and App Engine and how we're delivering digital transformation. Companies' digital urgency is critical these days, and you have to move fast. And because of changing market conditions and the business environment has changed, as you guys have seen from 2019 up through 21. COVID has really changed a lot of things, but I'm wondering, what are our customers thinking about? Are they retooling their supply chains? Are they considering omni-channel commerce? Do they need a hybrid workplace or ... You tell us what's going on in your area. But this is what we're seeing occurring across many different industries. And we're interested to hear from you guys later and follow-up calls about what's important to you. And we can do some of those App Engine workshops around your specific use case so they can become real to you. Reality of today's business environment is phone calls and emails are going all over the place. There's outdated and siloed business processes. IT backlog is really kind of hurting businesses for innovation. And then this causes little applets to be put up and around with no governance. And so that's a problem that's occurring out in the marketplace. We have a solution for you, though. That's ServiceNow App Engine and Thirdera. But just to go back in the founding of Fred Luddy of ServiceNow, in 2004, he said, I wanted to build a platform to allow regular people to route work effectively through the enterprise. He said, literally, that's what he said, regular people and route work effectively. So he has always been an application development platform. You guys know our new CEO. I say new, he's been here well over a year now, but came from SAP. He could have gone anywhere in the industry, and he chose ServiceNow. And the reason he told us as an employee base, your platform to platform story was very compelling. He came from SAP, so he knew a lot of those digital electronic concrete systems, not a knocking on SAP. We run SAP for our financial system, we being ServiceNow. It's world-class at that, but there's all this other stuff that needs to be automated, and that's where App Engine can really help you. So in what's happening in the marketplace today is there's companies are moving to this cloud environment, and some on-premise over here on the right, AS400, mainframe, SharePoint, but they're picking 3 or 4 or 5 key platform vendors to really run their business. But a lot of work gets done up here at the top in Office and Windows and Slack and Box and phone calls and emails. And so our strategy from ServiceNow is to be this system of action across all of that. We can be your connective tissue across the middle of all of this unstructured work at the top and your structured environments at the bottom. And obviously, many of you have selected ServiceNow as your IT system of record, and we appreciate that. But that doesn't mean that we automatically get the right to earn your business for a low-code platform, but you should look at us because we're world-class at that as well. And Omar's going to show you that. But if you're running legacy AS400s or SharePoint or mainframe stuff, we can easily be the user interface above those, and you can change those out, and the users never know the difference. So that's why the system of action is so important. And then, so this is a single slide, very similar to what we just saw, but this is what Bill McDermott uses when he's talking to other analysts or to CEOs of large organizations, maybe even yours. But his biggest point is always come over here to the left, Paul, and say one platform, one data model, one architecture. That's our biggest differentiator compared to any of the others. Not that we're knocking any of them, but the other vendors don't have to lose for ServiceNow to win. And so why is that important? That's good for us, ServiceNow, yay, but it's really more important for you because you get to leverage this Now platform to be that connective tissue across all your different unstructured environment and your structured environment at the bottom. And so you've probably heard about IT workflows from ServiceNow, employee workflows, and customer. Today, we're talking about creator workflows or App Engine and Integration Hub. And it's about speed. Creator workflows and App Engine is about speed. It solves the need for that because digital transformation is occurring. There's going to be 500 million, yes, 500 million apps built in the next 5 years, according to Gartner and Forrester. So there's this shortage over here on the right where the blue line is what enterprises or companies want to innovate with, but available developers is the green line. And so there's this big gap. And that's where low-code platforms will solve. And we're not the only low-code out there, but go look at them. But you can come back to ServiceNow and say, wow, you guys really have a strong one. And Omar's going to show that. But that's the citizen developer dilemma is, can I allow my citizen developers or my business users to begin to innovate? The answer is yes with ServiceNow. It's about the need for speed. We create powerful workflows with this world-class UI across PCs or phones or even watches or tablets, all in the same development environment with a world-class UI. And what's nice is it has trusted, scalable platform for large enterprises. As we mentioned earlier, ServiceNow is in the leader quadrant for Gartner, so they really like us. That's good news if you guys are a Gartner company. And then also Forrester. This is in 2019. ServiceNow was in the strong performer category, but in 2020 we moved up into the leader quadrant, and I shouldn't call it a quadrant because Forrester has a wave. We moved up into the leader wave, and so that's important. We've made progress up, and other vendors are moving from up here in the leader the other way. And why is that? Well, Gartner has a certain criteria, and you can learn more. Or Forrester has certain criteria. One of the key things that Gartner talks about is hyper automation. In 2019, hyper automation or low code platforms was not even on the radar. But in 2020 and certainly in 2021, hyper automation or low code platforms are the hottest things going. And hyper automation is artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, bots, and robotic process automation. And ServiceNow has all of that. We're available and can deliver that to the marketplace. We've got great ROI, return on investment. And I can send you this if you're interested in seeing this full report. I'll send you this link, or you can take a picture of it and grab it and then look at it yourself. But I will send it to anybody who sends me an email, paul.warren@servicenow.com. Got great total economic impact with App Engine. So what is low code? It's really a team sport. You've got your end users adopting it, but you've got these creators or citizen developers and pro code developers on the same platform, delivering speed and agility to the business. And then you got your financial operations or even your ServiceNow team feeling comfortable because I can put it in a governance model. I can deploy it and run it efficiently and safely on the ServiceNow platform. So that's some of the value. So the key reasons customers choose App Engine: build apps fast, very fast, literally like days and hours. We had Lowe's delivered a mobile app to 330,000 employees in 4 days. That's 96 hours. They love the user experience, and they've got a trusted, safe, secure platform without a bunch of application sprawl. That's one of our differentiators against Microsoft Power Apps, in fact. So we can go anywhere in the business with App Engine if you'll allow us to. We would love to sit here and talk about what we've done in finance and control, travel and expense. Anywhere in the business, you guys can leverage App Engine. Now, if you've got a shrink wrap solution from ServiceNow like customer service, you want to buy that application and then extend it with App Engine if you so choose. You don't want to just go build stuff that we are already building, but you can build out these extra little use cases to strengthen your customer service management solution. And then finally, I talked about world-class UIs. I mean, just the mobile first attitude is great. And this can be offline. I've worked with some large CPG companies who are delivering stuff at grocery stores, and they go into a freezer container and it cuts off Wi-Fi access. So they can just store and forward it. The mobile can be offline capable. And then when you connect back to Wi-Fi, it just starts working again. Hugely valuable for situations like that. And then lastly, this is kind of the big picture view of the digital workflow platform on the ServiceNow. I'm just going to turn it over to Omar and kind of let him talk through this, and then let him take over and start showing you software.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I like this slide to be my transition slide because it really segues perfectly into what I'm about to show you on the platform. And really this is the highlight reel, the movie trailer, if you will, on all the capabilities that come with ServiceNow. I like to always inform everybody that I get to speak to that ServiceNow is originated as a development platform, and a very powerful development platform. And so the maturity when it comes to building and automating digital workflows on ServiceNow is there because of all the years of investments that ServiceNow has made. Now, what we've done that's fresh and new and awesome is we've made available to a low code layer to that. So this is a quick review of that, overview of that. So if we look at the inner circle, the light green one there, you see those 4 sections: user experience, workflow and integration, the embedded intelligence, and the no to pro code interfaces. And the outer ring are the actual tools within each one of those areas that are now available and exposed to people to start building and to build apps, mature them, and just go through the whole software development lifecycle using these low-code interfaces. And if you just took a look at that outer ring, you'll see there's a lot of capabilities, and again, made available to citizen developers. We call them lines of business builders is another term we're calling them. If you're just a process owner and you understand the technology enough to get some quick enablement and get a handle on it, then you can now contribute and build digital automation and digital workflows for your organization. So I'm going to share my screen now and take over here. Thank you. I'm going to start off here with a developer instance. So I love using these for my demonstrations because I want all the attendees to be aware that you can come to developer.servicenow.com and make a request for exactly the same environment that I'm about to show you today. So if you like what you see and you want to get in and get your hands to keyboard yourself and experience that, just go to this website, make a request, and this is the first page you land on. And we're actually going to start with the App Engine Studio. That's what we're here to highlight since we're featuring App Engine. So I already clicked on that and we're starting here. So let me give you a quick rundown of the App Engine Studio. It came out in Quebec, which is our early this year, 2021 release. So hot off the presses and very, very exciting technologies and capabilities. As you can already tell just by looking at it at a high level, it is intuitive and it's easy to use. And this is the engagement layer that, again, provides that easy to use, intuitive experience to all the development power that ServiceNow is capable of achieving. And if you look at across the top, this navigator, not a huge navigation to have to learn. It's actually very easy to use. I'm going to walk you through a couple of them. So my apps, obviously, if I've built apps here, and I have a travel request app in my App Engine Studio already. That shows you the apps that you've built. The more apps you build, the more that you'll see here on your list. Templates, we like to slow down and really stress the value of these templates. So building an app on ServiceNow and using App Engine Studio is already fast and easy. You can get an app. I build apps in 10 or 15 minutes if I know what it is that I'm building and what it is that I want to do. So that can go extremely fast. But now with the templates, what you can do is you can actually leverage other artifacts that make it that much faster. This one has a user experiences, so it has dashboards for you, a portal that's already built for you. So really the bones and the components to get an app off the ground that much faster. And it gives you a really good description of what it is that it's intended to achieve. And this is an approval life cycle that could come in handy. And then here are all the components that make up that app. So when you really want to understand, okay, here's my security roles, I have a mobile experience, here's my data model or tables, and I have a flow as well. So there's some automation in it. And you can make the decision just by reading the summary here and say, you know what, I need this. I'm going to use this template to build an app, and you get all those components. So as I said, it's already fast building an app, but if you find a template that you can leverage, you can get one off the ground that much faster. Last thing about templates is that I want to tell you that we're releasing templates every quarter, and I just heard a commitment that they want to release them every month. So if you don't see a template that could add value to you quickly, just keep searching the store, and you can install them just as you would, a plugin, and have more templates available to help enable yourself and your citizen developers along the way. And then finally, we have the resources section. So now we have embedded the enablement that you need to get off the ground quickly. If you notice, it goes in order. Your introductions to the whole App Engine Studio, the interface that I'm taking you now, it gives you that guided walkthrough of how to navigate this application. Now we're at the data model section. How do you add tables and get those components going? Your experience, that's your mobile interface, that's your portals, that's your workspaces where you're going to be doing work. All that is managed. And here are all the different documentation and the guided walkthroughs of how to achieve each of those things. And it takes you to our official documentation website. So that is perfect. Then you start to also learn very well how to navigate all the documentation that we have available. Adding automation. So this is really, really powerful because, again, the goal is to enable or allow lines of business builders, citizen developers, or even those who are already comfortable at building apps, navigate this interface that much faster and just learn how to do things nice and quick. As you see here, we have a nice big button at the top, create an app. So we're going to create a quick app using the App Engine Studio so you can see how quickly this comes together. First thing it asks us to do is name the app. And so I like to name it standard process. This can be your process. Consider something you need to automate in your organization. Some request system, there's somebody who needs something, right? There's a requester, and then it needs to be assigned to somebody, maybe a priority. And then you finish the work and you want to notify the requester, hey, we got done doing your work. That's a standard service management life cycle. So I'm going to just call this standard process. First thing that it's doing is it's making our scope. That scope is really important because it adds several layers of things like security. So now you have control of your data. You also have control of who has access to the app. And you also keep this app in a scoping that doesn't allow other developers to get to it unless you intend that, or the people managing this app the ability to reach out to other scopes. So it really, really contains all your efforts and all your development artifacts here. So it's just letting me know here. And I also don't want to breeze by how it's helping us. So this verbiage here, I like to say we live in a day and age where we're not reading our terms and agreements anymore. We're always agreeing to stuff without reading them. So I keep stressing, read these because these help you through the navigation of building your app. So it's letting you know what's next. So now we're here at the app dashboard. Again, the intuitive nature is taking over of our App Engine Studio. Now we have a pop-up telling us time to add data. Data is the starting point for your app. Start with a table or upload a spreadsheet. So if I go ahead and click on add table or upload a spreadsheet, we go to this experience. Uploading a spreadsheet is very common. We get it. There's other utilities that allow you to do that to make simple forms. This is very common. It looks similar. The one thing I like about ours is that we support multiple tabs as well. So if you have a multi-tab spreadsheet, we can make table structures out of all of those tabs. Very, very cool. Creating from scratch, very self-explanatory, but briefly, if you know the fields that you want and you want to hand build them, do them one at a time, you can create your table from scratch. Still very useful and effective. But a big differentiator is create from an existing table. So I had mentioned already, ServiceNow is a mature platform. We've been around a long time. So with that comes very, very robust data model. So I clicked on that filter here, and you see all the different tables which you have access to that you can extend to make your and support your application. Things like the CMDB, maybe company table, locations, users, and a real popular one is our task table, because this is our unit of work. And if you're going to make an app where there's a requester, somebody needs to do the work, and you want to close it, then you can extend the task. And what that does for you is it actually allows you to make a clean, empty copy of it, adopt all that business logic that goes with it, as well as the table structure, which includes really valuable things like a short description and a description, assignment groups, prioritization, a state like open, work in progress, closed, that kind of stuff, auto numbering, all that good stuff. You can adopt all that, but make your own copy that you can then configure to add really unique qualities and attributes to your specific process. So I'm going to call our table standard process as well. Again, I'm extending that task table. So I'm just going to say it's an SP record. And that's it. Now it's making a copy. I'm extending that task table, and you can do this with other tables as well. So now we're at our experience layer. So again, we have the guidance on. If I turn it off, it will stop guiding me through this, but it is letting me know, okay, you've made some data model. Why don't we move on to your experiences? And in our experiences do allow us to make different kinds and types of experiences. We can make a mobile app, which is quick and easy to do that. It's actually, I'll make one for our app today. We call it the standard process app here. It's asking me what data do I want to expose on this app. I'm going to use our standard process data, right? We just made a data model in the previous step. I want that here as well. And then here for the roles, it's, you can assign who can actually use the app. Another differentiator is that when it comes to our roles, we have a bunch of roles already baked into the platform. So if you're an existing ServiceNow customer and you have across the organization people with roles, you can assign those exact roles into your applications to give access to those people. For instance, ITIL, if you wanted IT people to have access to this app, then you could just add that role and now they have access to it. So you don't have to build from scratch all the time. Paul mentioned earlier, available offline. If you need an offline mode, maybe there's no coverage, you're out in the field, you're out at an oil refinery. We hear all the use cases. He said the freezer where you lose connection. You can still engage with your app. You can still upload and finalize some data entry. And then when you get reconnected, it will synchronize with the servers. So we have the offline mode there. And so it's making our mobile interface. It's getting our bones together, the really core capabilities established for our mobile experience. And here in a few moments, I will plug my phone in and show you how this came out. Another great experience is the workspace. Our workspace is where we're headed to do work going forward. So this is an example of a workspace form. This interface here, this multi-tab views, all of this is the workspace. And it actually helps you and navigates and gives you a glimpse as to what it is that you're getting into by building a workspace. We want one. Again, very basic configurations, nothing extremely difficult. Getting some good questions out there. I will reply to those once I'm done presenting.
We are.
Here. Thank you, appreciate it. Again, what kind of data do we want on our workspace? And I like, for this one, I like adding the knowledge base because I think the knowledge base is very helpful. to have on most applications anyway. So I'm just pulling in the knowledge base. Again, another differentiator, very powerful feature. If you're a customer, you're using the knowledge base, there's a lot of information already out there embedded into your app. It was that fast for me. So now the knowledge base is available on our workspace. And we can actually take a look at this one. I'm just going to click on show me that workspace. So it's opening it up for me. It's going to give me that glimpse of this experience we just made. And here we are. We have a dashboard with some widgets that are already specific to service management type work. We can go here and take a look. We have our knowledge, as I mentioned. So our knowledge base is populated. We just pulled in the existing knowledge base. We don't have any records yet, but if we were to click on new, then we'll get our core form, and now we can start to populate and build out our form, add in our data, and start saving records. So very handy experience that it builds out for you right away. And so then, as you're seeing, we are taking us through the steps of building an app. It's helping us out. It's intuitive along the way. I hope you like the experience in this interface to see how useful it is. And now we're at the automation stage. So this is where we're going to get a glimpse at our flow designer and our process automation designer. So making the apps, products can do that. Making a form, having an entry point, fulfilling it seems pretty common. But when it comes to automation, we are second to none when it comes to doing things like tasking other teams or asking for an approvals through our approval engine, sending SMS texts, and integrating with other systems. This is a huge differentiator. Another part that differentiates us is that reusability. So yeah, we have a big button that says build from scratch, but if you look at the rest of those, there's already built flows that we can just leverage into our app. Say, oh yeah, I actually do need to post something out to teams. I do need to post or get a Zoom meeting created. And so since these integrations are established and we have built-in flows already built, I can leverage those and just modify them slightly to meet my specific needs, but you don't have to always build directly from scratch. We'll build a quick flow from scratch so you can take a look at what that looks like. So again, I'm naming everything our standard process. But this, I'll just show you, edit this flow. So now we have a multi-tabbed view. So you see, as we progress, everything is still staying self-contained, all in this App Engine Studio. Again, more guidance, more walkthroughs, very intuitive. I'm going to skip our tour because I'm going to have established the tour for you. So using the flow designer, I don't know if many of you have already seen it or used it, but it is very easy to consume and to use. But we're going to start off by just adding trigger. Every flow needs to start somewhere. And I like making sure everybody's aware of the different things that can get a flow initiated. This is super common. When a record in the system gets created, for instance, our standard process, if somebody submits a request for one, then start the flow. But they can be done updated, created or updated. And what's cool is if you look to the right here, we have this, again, an explanation of how to use it. So we're embedding the tutorials within every step of the way, again, enabling those lines of business builders, those end users or citizen developers to start to contribute to this app building process. Down here, that's just cool, a REST API. So once you get a signal from a third-party system, it can launch this. And then this is like a scheduled job. You need something to run on a periodic basis. Those are all come in handy as well. We're going to stick with created, and we're going to pick our standard table, our standard process, because now we actually have the table ready. So once one of these gets created, then we want this flow to start. And now we get to see, well, what can we do once a flow starts? And so now you're seeing things like under our ServiceNow core, very important things, getting approvals, update the record, create tasks. This is when you get other teams involved. Cross-enterprise tasking can come in handy. Doing record lookups. So you can go retrieve data, you can do some comprehensive logic against them and loop through them and update all these records individually. Here's our notification components all built into there. And as I go down this list, you start to see, yeah, there's a lot of power when doing leveraging the flow designer. We're going to do something as simple as create a task for another team today. So if somebody makes a standard process record, I want to let another team know. And I'm going to let the IT team know. So now I did create task. I'm creating an incident. And then you can control what it is that task will contain. And so I want to assign it to the service desk. I think that'll be handy. I also want to make the parent of this ticket of the incident. I want that parent to be this ticket. So now if I go to the right, you're starting to see our data section light up because we've started to leverage our standard process table. So now you have access to the not only the record, but all the details and attributes within the record. So it's a lot of power getting access into the data. And if you notice some of these little arrows here, this is telling us that location is a reference to another table. Well, guess what? I can drill into that as well and expand it. Now I can drill in to another table structure. So we're actually getting that opportunity to really navigate through the platform with this flow designer. I'm just going to drag in the record right here in here. So now it's telling me that's the parent. And then the cool thing is if I wanted to do, we'll say the short description of the incident, I just want it to match the short description of the parent record. So I can even just drag in field for field if you wanted to. And so now when I build this brand new incident, it will be assigned to the service desk. My parent will be filled in with this number and my short description will match the short description of the main record. All right. So I did that. And that's how easy and intuitive it is to build flows. And finally, I think the last thing I want to highlight is also showing how easy it is to integrate from the flows. So down here, I have like a Slack or Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Azure. Connecting to third-party systems is truly this easy when leveraging an integration hub. We have hundreds of spokes we make available that already talk to these systems. And all you do is just leverage those spokes and you can do a little bit like I was doing earlier. You can drag information, say the message of our Teams message will be the description of the case. So you have, again, that drag and drop capabilities, and we have a really good flow and integration going here. And lastly, what I'll show you here is just this interface called the Process Automation Designer. Again, our low-code interface that's easy to use. So I'm leaving the App Engine Studio. We built that app with those core components, but I don't want to let y'all go without showing you the other low-code interface that just came out in Paris, so last fall, that is really taking off and getting a lot of adoption and being embraced. And that is this Process Automation Designer. So if you notice here, we have these lanes up here: assign, create, review, and update. And within each one of these lanes, you have things like activities based off these cards. They're movable. You can, if your process changes, you can move these around, put them in different orders. And you have a lot of similar activities as you do in your in the flow designer, like creating tasks. But if you notice, there's things like instructions or show knowledge articles. And the reason for that is because these process automations also are represented in this actual environment as what they call playbooks. And what a playbook is that it's a task-oriented view of a of your process unfolding to help the people who are doing the work be guided to doing it. So it helps with standardization. It helps with everybody following the same process and protocols. Helps with satisfying whoever you're supporting. So it's customer service. So it's very, very useful. And if I show you here the playbook on this example, this is what it looks like. It's giving you that instruction. This is mark is complete to go to the next step. So it's this guided walkthrough of how to navigate the process. It's good for new people. It's good for people who need to manage it. And really the connection is that this playbook ties to this process automation designer. And we just think that's a very powerful capability that we wanted to show you in the whole low code world. So last but not least, when it comes down to it, you have your App Engine Studio, which is really that low code intuitive way to just build apps, build them quickly with all the experiences that you require. And then your automation layer can just start to take root from there. And this is what we're really excited about. And we hope you are too.
Omar, that's awesome. It looks so easy. I think I can build an app. I love how playbooks, I'm going to take over here. I love how playbooks ties to process automation designer ties to the playbooks. That's really cool. So we saw the demo. And Omar, I'm going to let you answer a few of the questions. You might want to go back and look at one or two that I covered as well, just to give a little bit more technical answer about global scope. I'm going to turn it over to Don. Don Casson, the man from Thirdera. Talk to us. This is good stuff. We're going to hear about Novartis. But give us a little background on Thirdera, if you would.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. And if you'll continue to be the MC, I would appreciate that. I'm going to go off camera just so I don't have any bandwidth issues on my session here. So quickly, we'll just cover a little bit about Thirdera. And Thirdera is a new company, and we were created by combining 4 existing strong ServiceNow partners, which is Evergreen, Cerna, Novascale, and a company called ServiceLine Solutions. We now have practices in North, South America, and Asia Pacific. Now, we're backed by $100 million in funding to grow and build this company, and our goal was to create the largest independent ServiceNow partner with a unique capability. So today, there are regional ServiceNow partners, and there are 6 global systems integrators, or what we call GSIs. We saw an opportunity to create a sharply focused services firm dedicated to ServiceNow with the speed, flexibility, and creativity of a regional partner, but combined with the portfolio coverage, consulting, and the strategy capabilities of a GSI. Today, we have about 350 professionals, and we cover the entire ServiceNow portfolio at the highest level of expertise. And we will be the first globally to cover all 4 workflow badges: IT, employee, customer, and App Engine. The power of ServiceNow is the whole portfolio plus workflow, in addition to all the things we saw today, right? But that is what makes it truly unique. A single services partner is much more effective, faster, and lower risk than a patchwork quilt of partners. You get one contract, one platform-wide roadmap, one consistent integrated service motion, and one consistent standard of high quality. If you think we might be a good fit for you, we can make your life simpler and accelerate the strategic use of the ServiceNow platform in your organization.
Oh, that's awesome. I've used you guys and I like working with you. So let's talk to us about Novartis.
All right. So here's an example of our ability to quickly build solutions in ServiceNow. With over $50 billion in revenue and 110,000 employees, Novartis is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. They had, here's their story, they had 4,000 IT services that needed to be updated very quickly within 6 months, but modified it. They also need to be modified during this update so as to be in compliance with brand new corporate enterprise-wide governance standards. Now, there were hundreds of service owners around the world who knew the services and could update them, but they did not know the new governance standards. So you can see the challenge of this thing. In order to tackle this within the time frame available, we built a service design factory in ServiceNow to enable a service owner to draft or update a service quickly, step by step, with inline guidance as they went, like what Omar showed, okay, in the playbooks. While at the same time, while they were doing this, they were doing so in compliance through this in-band advice, drop-down choices for items such as SLAs. And these were all things which were designed to reflect the new governance standards. So effectively, the owners were building their new or updating their services in compliance with governance. Kind of a cool way to do it. Service owners were happier because they could respond quickly to changing needs, and IT governance was happier because it was essentially built in. So it made governance a very light touch through effective pre-engineering right in ServiceNow. And that's the future. That's where it's going to be. People shouldn't have to look around to understand the governance and the process they're dealing with. That ought to be built into the flow itself. So we are now in the process of applying this same approach to this factory-like approach to the low-code challenge. So next, I'd like to talk about a little bit about kind of low-code realities. And this is a marketplace kind of view of things. Low-code has the attention of the CIO and the CEO, right? They want to drive digital transformation now, but understand that a huge siloed IT infrastructure stands in the way. Low-code is not a standalone solution. The type of code required is determined by the business requirements. It could be low-code, or it could be full code, or it could be a combination of both. And that's a good thing. Since low-code is reusable and already built, its use can lower technical debt over the full lifecycle of a solution. So it's for senior developers too. Low-code alone is very good for simple inside a department solutions right away. But it's also good for rapid prototyping to help a customer more quickly refine their business requirements. How often in the past have you developed an opportunity and created something, you go back to the customer and it's not on target? So this gives you a way to not make those mistakes in that requirements definition. Due to governance, risk, compliance, accountability, and the lifecycle support of enterprise solutions, an integrated agile motion, both low code and full code, is really required. Regardless of who develops a solution, and those of you in IT know this, IT will still be held accountable for ensuring quality solutions over the useful life and safeguarding the organization from a governance, risk, and compliance standpoint.
And that's what I like about Thirdera. You guys have the expertise and the experience to really guide our customers on the best way to approach this.
Thank you, Paul. So the key question, and I've heard Paul mention this many times, is what is your low-code strategy? Here is a high-level three-phase strategy that I'm providing as a general reference model you can use. I'll cover the high points quickly. Low-code is relatively new, and we've really never had other than IT developers before. So the first phase in this strategy is logically explore. And I've divided the activities into people, process, / governance, and technology categories to make it a little clearer. For people, in this first phase, we need to define what a low-code developer looks like, solicit interest, and begin work on our training approach. For process and governance, we want to think more about workflow and how it helps build end-to-end services. We want to begin reimagining our agile process to include low-code and list our governance requirements so we keep a close eye on those. For technology, we want to implement the App Engine components and the integration hub. Phase 2 is when we build our solution. For people, we want to finalize our training and begin training these low-code developers. We can have them work on low-risk but still high-value projects inside their own departments. Full-code developers should begin using it for rapid proofs of concept so they get comfortable with it. For process and governance, we want to update our agile processes and governance to support low-code and full code. For technology, we want to begin putting the new processes into ServiceNow, so building it right into the platform. So phase 3 is extend, where we take our solution live and begin to enhance it. For people, we want to launch our enterprise low-code training solution, scale it, and begin delivering combination low and full code solutions. For process and governance, we want to take our new agile development process live. And for technology, we want to complete building the new solution in the ServiceNow platform and take that live.
Wow, Don, you just gave about $40,000 worth of consulting advice right there, buddy.
Well, I hope it's useful to those of you who are thinking about that problem. And to that point, we are finding that many CIOs want an enterprise strategy to leverage low code now. And we don't necessarily know a lot about it, right? If you think you might struggle to create one, we can help you. In a short 3 to 4 weeks, we can work with you to build a multi-phase strategy and roadmap to leverage low code in your enterprise. Additionally, we will give you a detailed phase 1 statement of work, roles and responsibilities, recommendations so you can understand how these things fit together, a service design balancing both the developer's needs and service governance needs, and a high-level V1 process lifecycle flow for your execution of low and full code together. We then deliver our findings and recommendations in an executive level briefing. And this is for less than $25,000. Within a month, your team and your executives can be on the same page with a clear plan for success that you believe in. Best of all, it does carry an unconditional guarantee. Money back. If you aren't happy with the value, don't pay us. And I knock on wood, okay? We've made this guarantee for years and we've never not been paid. So hopefully we can continue that perfect streak. So that's really all I've got to cover today. And I want to turn it back over to Paul for another compelling offering that might be of interest to you.
Yeah, I mean, Don, this unconditional satisfaction guarantee is money, because if they see the value, they pay the money. If they don't see it, then they don't pay. That's pretty impressive. And I know you guys will stand behind your work. I've worked with you. I enjoy working with you, and I will continue to work with you. So customers, if you have a chance, take them up on this offer. Another option, this is kind of the call to action. We have the ability to do an App Engine, and it says Innovation Day. It's really a 2.5-hour event. I've seen Omar, along with Thirdera, will take a use case that's critical or important to you and your company and help build it out with your citizen developers. I've seen Omar do it for 3 people. Virtually, he did one for 28 people. And where about 20 of them were doing just following Omar along and building out the use case to that company. We actually built a claims management app. They were interested in building a claims management solution. So we just said, let's build it in 2.5 hours. And we built, probably 85-90% of it to their satisfaction. They loved it. They're excited about it. So we can do that and again, 20 of the people did the coding themselves, each on their own instance, just so everyone gets a full experience. And about 7 or 8 people watched Omar build it, but they're seeing the mental image of what's going on. So we're willing to do that. We can spread that across 1 or 2 days if that's better for you, but 2.5 hours to build a full app front to back can be very compelling. So we're making that offer to you. There's no charge for this one, but you can come out with something that's very compelling. As you know, Thirdera does a great job, as Don explained earlier, and I've worked with them and I've used them. So I'm standing behind giving a thumbs up that you'll get a good job by using Thirdera. So that's kind of about it. We've got 7 or 8 minutes left. I'm going to open it up, and because I haven't looked at, there's some chat stuff going on. Is there any Q&A that have not been answered? We've answered 6 of them. When is that workshop? The workshop is scheduled at your request. So you can send an email to paul.warren@servicenow.com, paul.warren@servicenow.com, and I'll get you to the right person. It may not be me. I'm in the central region, but there's guys in the east and west coast and by verticals. So Russell, it really just depends on where you're located and who's the rep that covers your territory. We can schedule that with them. It may not be Omar unless you're in the central region. It might be the local solution consultant that works with you. We had answered a few of them. Omar came in and came back to that. But one of the things an anonymous attendee asked about licensing, so you can see those if you'll go in there and look at that. We license the fulfillers with App Engine. We do not license requesters. So that's good. You're used to that fulfiller requester model with ServiceNow. And Sharon was really asking about global scope. You don't want to build apps in global scope because it affects the entire system. It's not a best practice. You can do it, but you want to be extremely cautious and know really details what you're doing and why you're doing it, and talk to the ServiceNow team or Thirdera about why you would really do that or why you should not be doing that. Anything else? Does anybody have a question? If you want to just raise your hand while we've got 5 minutes left, I'm sure you're going to ask a question of Omar or Don, not of me, and that's fine. I'm not offended by it.
You know, one observation, Paul, which, and you guys have been living this, it is a really interesting but challenging change, right? I mean, it's such a fascinating difference. We've never had low-code developers. There's never really actually been such a thing, right? And citizen developers. And it is, you know, the curve you show where the skill set versus the demand is, you know, that's an inevitable thing. We have to find a way to address that, right? Or we're not going to be successful.
Yeah, the apps are going to be built with or without us, and it might as well be with us. And when I say us, you as an end customer, citizen developers, call Thirdera, have them help you think through this process. You can tell Don knows what he's talking about. He's not selling, he's really consulting. And so, you know, 1.4 million shortage of software developers, it's going to happen with or without you. So you might as well get on this low-code bandwagon and see how you can really optimize the value. App Engine, or also known as Creator Workflows, is the digital transformation platform from ServiceNow, and it delivers these kind of solutions world-class across the board. So any other questions we want to have? There's some chat stuff going. Is there any other Q&A? Nope. Anna, I didn't know if we had set up where people could raise their hand and ask a verbal question. You may have to give them rights to talk, or if we'd rather just take that offline, we'll do it any way possible.
I don't think we have any open ones,
Yeah,
right?
I don't think we have any open questions at this point.
I've never finished ahead of schedule. Don, you were on point. I probably talked too much. We should have given Omar another 5 minutes, but this is good stuff. I just want to say thank you to every single person who's on this call. Anna, you and Don did a world-class job. Michael and Tim from Thirdera in driving attendance and demand for this. It looked like we had 45, 50 people attend. We appreciate you all. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, Paul Warren, paul.warren@servicenow.com, and I'll route you to the proper Thirdera person or to the proper ServiceNow person along with Thirdera to give you what you need. And Anna, I think, is going to follow up with a survey. Tell us the good, the bad, and what we can improve upon. And we'll continue to do these type of events to educate and also make you aware of the new features and functions that we're coming out with.
Absolutely. And if you guys need to revisit, we'll have a recording available for you and emailed to you sometime soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.